Before I get started, I'd like to kindly ask that you hit the like button and leave a comment down below. And please subscribe to the channel for more content just like this.
Come on. Do it. Do it!
Can I just tell you how much I enjoy reviewing new movies? There's something very special about going to the theater and sitting down to watch something and not really knowing what to expect. Typically, I've been let down lately, and that's because movies these days tend to be more interested in lecturing you than they are with entertaining you.
Oh, you're right. And when you're right, you're right. And you're always right.
Ambulance didn't do that, however, so imagine this for a moment. Michael Bay, who I've been rough on in the past, and rightfully so, comes through for me and actually delivers nothing but pure entertainment. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I actually appreciate Michael Bay at the moment, considering the current climate of modern entertainment, because he did one thing, and that's entertain me.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
This felt like a movie that would have came out in his late 90s heyday. He said recently in an interview that he kind of regretted making so many Transformer movies, and I wholeheartedly agree with that statement. Because to me, more grounded movies like this actually showcase his abilities as a director much better. That's why I've always said that Bad Boys is my favorite movie of his, because he still did what he does, but he had to show some level of restraint because of the story he was trying to tell.
That makes sense.
It's better when we're not constantly getting this over-the-top version of Michael Bay. I actually think he does a decent job at some of the smaller, more personal moments in his movies, and specifically with this movie as well. Ambulance to me feels like a much more grounded and personal story than we would typically get from Michael Bay. So for that reason, it felt much more enjoyable to me. The idea of making movies, after all, is to create a personal connection with the audience, and I found myself to be invested in this story for the most part.
No shit.
That's not to say the typical Michael Bay flair isn't there. You're still going to get lots of slow motion, lots of these big action set pieces. What I really enjoyed was that the action appeared to be pulled off practically, which is rare in this day and age considering Hollywood typically relies on green screen a little bit more than they should. There's just something refreshing about seeing real cars smashing into each other. This is why we go to the movies after all.
Goddamn right, that's the only way I work, Cap.
So I had to start off this review by giving Michael Bay his props because he actually went back to basics and delivered a pure action drama. The story of Ambulance revolves around this decorated war veteran who needs money for his wife's operation. So he reluctantly hooks up with his adoptive brother to steal $32 million from a bank. Sounds like a standard enough idea, but this movie actually thrives in the concept that follows that.
I like it a lot.
Because they end up hijacking an ambulance that has a paramedic inside as well as a severely wounded police officer. And thus a 2-hour police chase ensues. The added wrinkle of this speed-like scenario mixed with this moral dilemma of how all of these different people deal with this situation, it actually really makes for an entertaining ride. And this movie does deal with morality quite a bit actually, what it means to be bad and what it means to be good, and what people are capable of when they are pushed in extreme situations.
I'm gonna go pick a fight.
And I think all of this will be relatable to audiences, and that after all, again, is what a movie is supposed to do. I did feel like the setup to this whole situation did feel a bit rushed. I don't think we get a good sense of the two brothers' relationship prior to them being thrust into this situation. At least not until later in the film, and I just think a better setup might have made for some better personal moments throughout the movie. Jake Gyllenhaal gives a great performance as usual, he always does. I do think some of his clunky dialogue does let him down a bit.
What the hell am I looking at? When does this happen in the movie?
But overall, his job was to be this slightly obnoxious, loose cannon of a character, and he pulled that off, even if that character is a bit one note at times. Yahya Mateen, I think that's how you say his name, really impressed me in this movie as well. Of course we know him from Candyman 2021 fame, but we don't like to talk about that here on this channel.
That's bait.
I related with his character the most in Ambulance because I could feel his desperation through his performance. You find yourself really pulling for him even though you know what he is doing is wrong. And then we have Isa Gonzalez's character, who is the paramedic, and she really feels like the main character at times. Her character is really put through the ringer in this movie, and there's one scene in particular that I really liked. When she has to operate on the officer in the back of an ambulance that's involved in a police chase. It's a very difficult situation, and there's a lot of tension, and it's really well done. Plus, she's nice to look at, and that's always helpful as well.
She got a great ass!
This movie does have some Michael Bay pitfalls. Typically, he is a bit more style over substance, but I did think there was more substance in this movie than he typically offers. Also, I have to mention that some of the camera work in this movie was fucking epic. I don't really know how they pulled it off, but the only way I can describe it is, it looks like it was done with drone footage. You have the camera high in the sky and it's flipping all around. It's really visually interesting. And it also helped to improve the already well done action sequences. Overall, I have to admit, I enjoyed Ambulance. It felt like a throwback to a simpler time with the action and profanity to match. It had a surprisingly unique concept that kept me invested the whole time. I did have a few minor gripes about the clunky dialogue, as well as some minor plot inconsistencies, but it wasn't anything to really take me out of the movie. It's not a perfect movie, but I think the entertainment value far outweighs the bad. That's why I'm going to give Ambulance the pleased Palpatine. Good. So have you seen Ambulance? If you have, let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. As always, please like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell for notifications, and I'll see you next time right here on Real Shift. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Y'all be cool. Right on.